everyone, I'm back. Sorry about the little outburst. I do get nuts sometimes, as you know. Right, I have been asked about what glues I use and why. So I'm going to run through some of them. I do have a good variety of glues. And I use them for all kinds of things. And the only one that I normally use a lot of... Ow. Me can't I find? Ah, come on. Here. Oh, and I might as well include these as well. Okay. So, I'm going to start off. The all-time glue that I use all the time, a lot of the time, and most of the time, is my PVA glue mix. Now, this glue, I put half water, half PVA glue. Okay, and it really is, if I can get it off, I don't know because I can't grip anything at the moment. Let me just see. Oh, hang on. Oh, right, okay. It's really hard. Let me just stick this here because it's painful to grip anything. I'll see if I can grip that, right. You see, it looks watery, but it's not. It's quite thick. Now, I use this when I'm sticking big sheets of paper down. And I brush it on and then put the paper on and then use a roller, a rolling pin or whatever, start from the middle and work out towards the edges. And the reason you do that is because this will stick much, much better than glue like... Hang on a minute, because I don't want to spill that either. This, although this is good... But this will stick your paper better, more permanent. Let me just see if I can get that back on without spilling it. This mix. And it's a lot smoother. It doesn't leave bubbles. When it's thick, if you use thick PVA glue, any white glue is PVA glue. You use it thick and it will bubble. It's when it soaks in the paper, it will clog type of thing. So water it down. And keep a jar handy like that to brush on and then use a roller to smooth out from the middle outwards. And your paper will be flat as a pancake and it will stay permanent, okay? So that's a really good tip for doing your projects. It's great to put this on, you know, and around the edges and whatever, but eventually it will come off. When you need something to stick permanently, you could use this but mix it with water. And what I do with all of mine PVA glues, so I've got this tacky glue, well-worn bottle. I always put some into another bottle and then add some water to it, shake it up, and I can just use the nozzle to put it on with, or brush it on if it's a large piece. Okay, and it will stick a lot better. I've also used this wood glue. I love wood glue, obviously when you're working with wood. This one, which is the toolbox PVA glue, you don't need to water down. Okay? You don't need to water it down. It's quite loose, if you know what I mean. It's not thick like this one is. So that one's okay to use for wood or paper. I mean, I use wood paper. Use it for all sorts. This is another craft PVA glue. This is from Hobbycraft. And again, you do need to water it down because look, it's taking ages to drip. See? You can see that. Ages to pour. So anything that's thick and takes ages to pour, water it down. This is also a pound one. This is a kiddies one from Create Craft Glue. Again, it's thick. And look, it's thick and takes ages to run. You need to water them down for them to be effective. Okay? So that's that one. Mod Podge. I like Mod Podge to go over things, you know, when you put in, when you want like a matte type of, glossy matte type of thing to. So ordinary matte finish Mod Podge puts a nice finish. And if you paint that on paper or your cardstock, before you use it, it's flexible. Your paper won't tear, it won't rip or do anything. It's flexible. So it'll help your paper become flexible. Again, the ordinary wood glue, which is the Evo Stick Wood Adhesive, I use when I don't need to water it down. I just need a decent wood glue that will stick anything. And usually when I'm putting dowels in holes, this is the glue that I will use. That holds it tight, you know, really fast. And this is a new one for me, which is the Maxi Fix Woodworking Adhesive. Again, if you're putting dowels in holes and things like that, this is perfect. You don't need to water it down, and it's cheap. I think I paid £1 for it. A big tub like that, you get 400, well, it says 400 gram that you're getting for £1, and that will do any wood, any sort of woodwork. Another one it's a sealant, but it's a type of glue. But this one, acrylic sealant, it's a multi-purpose acrylic sealant for tiles. But what I use this for is moulds. Pour this into your mould, any mould, and leave to dry. Can take up to a week. But when you've finished, you can paint on it. You can paint over it. And it says for sealing and filling all gaps and cracks around the home. Quick drying, paintable. So that's brilliant. Don't go using all this, you know, what do you call them? You can save on plaster and things like that, you know, plaster of Paris and things like that in your mould. Although I use plaster of Paris as well. But this is fantastic for making moulds with. Okay? And again, it came from the pound shop. So you're getting heaps for your money. These are really good tips for getting a lot for your money. And one of those, you'll do dozens and dozens and dozens of moulds. Okay? I know you get that mould putty and things like that, but once your moulds are made, just use the glues. They come out. If you're not quite sure, or you're a bit iffy, either talcum powder the bottom of your mould before you put this in, or do what I do. I would use like Vaseline. You don't know it's Vaseline, some of you. Oh, bugger it, what do they call it? Well, you know what I mean. Just put like a light greasing inside, and then would really wash it under the hot tap when it's dry, when your mould's set. Okay, and it'll take all the greasiness off, and then you can paint it. Again, Pritt stick. Well, you get a Pritt stick, but this is the liquid Pritt stick. Liquid Pritt, should I say. Craft glue. Again, this is great, but I would water it down. If I want to mix them in a little cup, I will mix that. Just pour it out of there and then mix it with a bit of water. Another one, quick dry tacky glue. Alien's quick dry tacky glue. Great. It is a fast dryer as well, and used for anything. Anything that's a strong glue, used for anything. This is another one, all-purpose, extra strong clear adhesive. Material. Brilliant for doing material. If you made a handmade flower and you're putting it on a bag or something like that, use one of those. Something like that. I'm going to say the glue sticks. Now, I know a lot of you buy the glue sticks, and I've tried many different ones. And the best that I use are these, because they're opaque. These are the milky ones, and they're mostly the best for all types of glue guns. The clear ones generally drip like hell. But these don't drip that much. These are a better glue stick for your glue guns. Whatever size they are, milky ones, if you can get them. I get mine from America. Chris kindly sends me a bag every now and again. I order them from her. A bag of 100. So I think it's about $8, something like that. Well worth it. Now, other glues. This is a crystal lacquer. Okay, but it's high tack 3D. Generally only use this if I'm using metalwork. If I don't want to use a hot glue gun, I will put it on with this. Or I will use the glossy accents. Or I will use this one, which is SX Cytoflex Trade Strength Super Glue. Because you never know. I always have some super glue in, but be extremely careful when you're using it. Don't get your fingers caught. Don't get them glued together. Bit painful getting them off. And another one is this Craftwork silicone glue, which is great for fillers or whatever you want to do before you paint something. If you've got a hole in a piece of wood you want to fill in, use that. And then when it's set, paint over it. Glue sticks. I like glue sticks. And I've said this before about them. The cheaper they are, the better. And I'll tell you why. What do they call it? The Pritt stick, is it? The Pritt stick glue stick clogs. It's lumpy, doesn't go on smooth or anything like that. These cheap ones, which are from the pound shop, you get about 5 or I think it's 3 large and 2 small in a pack for £1. and they go on smoothly. They don't clog, they don't, you know, clog up or anything like that. They're very, very smooth, and they're great. If you're just doing a tag or something, use one of those if you don't want to get your mixed glue out. They are quite good. Crackle accents, of course, when you're doing over something, you want to crack some, you know, crack, like it says on the picture, like it shows you on the picture. Great. And they will glue anything, to be honest. And then the other two that I use is this one. It's a 3D clear gloss finish. Now, the reason why I use that one and this one, which is the US Art, right, is perfect paper adhesive. I don't use it for paper at all. I use these because they dry clear. Okay? And I use these, if I'm putting a picture in a frame and I want to make it look like there's a glass front, then I'll use these. Pour it over and it dries clear. Brilliant. So that's those. And then these two, they are a glue. It's a tape, but it's still a glue. I know a lot of you like the red tape one, you know, the red one. But I like using these, and we get these pretty cheap here. It's one of the lesser things that is pretty cheap for us. And depending on where you get them from, you can pick these up for 50p a roll, or I think, yeah. This size, which is a centimetre, you'll get 2 for £1. And that size, you can get them for £1. And I use them an awful lot. So, that's my glue. And, you know, if you ever want... roll back on the film again and watch it over and see. It is handy to have a mixture of glues. You could just play with that one for everything, to be honest. But it depends how, you know, particular you are and what you want to do with your glues. A lot of these glues... I mean, I've used Mod Podge to glue something down or paint over it to make it more like a leatherette. These cheaper glues, pour into your moulds. You can pour them in as they are and let them dry. They will shrink away from the sides, so you'll end up with a little bit of a smaller item. But you can use all of these as you can use your glue stick when it's in the glue gun. Pour it into your mould. And I've done loads. You've got videos out on them, so have a look it up. All of these could be used, apart from the roll-on one. All of these really could be used in your moulds. There's no point in going and buying expensive things. Just so that, you know, you put that in, wait for a week, if that's how long it takes. Some take only 3 or 4 days. It's worth it, because you're not having to fork out a lot of money. There are cheap and easy ways, and then it's what you do with it when it's done. That's the key point. When you've got your mould, it's what you do with it once it's dry that makes the difference when you're painting it and things like that. So that's my little outtake on glues. Yeah, try them, see what you come up with. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye for now.